Hey, gang, why don't we put this to a vote?
We are still one member short.
6 minus 1 equals 5, and that's without Phil.
Jesus, what a bunch of fucking weirdos.
What did you say?
Oh my God, I'm so much better than this. We are better than this. Listen, it's gonna all work out, I promise. Trust me.
How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to Scaredy Cat Films. Today we're going to be looking at a 2020 film called Vicious Fun. I saw Vicious Fun on Shudder and decided to watch it after reading the description, which read, Joel, a caustic 1980s film critic for a national horror magazine, finds himself unwittingly trapped in a self-help group for serial killers. With no other choice, Joel attempts to blend in or risk becoming the next victim. And the movie really delivers on that description. It really nails that 80s aesthetic for me and has really good kills as well. It tags itself as a horror comedy, but I would say it leans more into the comedy, not so much the horror aspect of it. I wouldn't necessarily say this movie's gonna scare you, but you will have fun. Actor Evan Marsh plays the lead role of Joel. I think he's very charismatic and brings the world to life, and it's really fun to watch him playing this character. And what I'm trying to say is go watch the movie. The movie is produced and distributed by Shudder, which is where you can go and watch it, and I highly recommend you do, and it could be easier with this free trial. Anyone who watches this channel probably knows what Shudder is, but if you don't, Shudder is a streaming service like Netflix or Amazon Prime, which is made specifically for horror films. They have a huge library, including classics like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, all the way to new stuff like today's topic, Vicious Fun. Lots of different options on how to watch, including choosing collections, going through their movies, series, or podcasts, and Shudder TV, which I've used a lot, which has random and different things playing to find something new that you normally wouldn't have watched. You can try Shudder right now for a full month free with today's code Shudder30. That's all caps, the word Shudder, Shudder 30. The first thing I would recommend to watch would be Shudder Guides. Just choose an episode based on the type of horror you're wanting to watch, for example, slasher. And Shudder's curator, Sam Zimmerman, will give you some options on what you could watch. It's pretty cool. With that all out of the way, let's break down Vicious Fun. We start the film in 1983, following a mysterious character at a motel. There's a serial killer in a car who picks up a girl who he probably wants to kill. The girl instead flips the script and gives him a stabbing, killing him. We then go and meet our main protagonist, Joel. He's a film critic for a magazine called Vicious Fanatic, and he's interviewing a director. He tells the director about his idea for a film about a serial killer who moonlights as a taxi driver, but the director doesn't really pay him any mind. Joel gets back to his apartment and his roommate, Sarah, gets dropped off as well by a guy named Bob, who she was on a date with. Joel is jealous because he has a crush on Sarah, and he follows Bob to a Chinese restaurant. He ends up getting stuck and drinking alcohol while talking to Bob. During their talk, Bob reveals how on the date with Sarah, he learned how shitty and useless her roommate was, which is, of course, Joel, so Joel feels bad. Bob ends up leaving the restaurant with a random woman, and Joel just stays and keeps getting drunk. At some point, Joel gets stuck in the cleaning closet of the restaurant and passes out from his drunkenness. He later wakes up, but the restaurant is now closed. In the middle of the restaurant are a group of people having a self-help meeting. The group of people mistake Joel as someone named Phil, and Joel decides just to play along because he's pretty scared. The people at the group are introduced as...
My name is Zachary.
I am Hideo.
Mike.
Carrie.
Fritz.
As the talks continue, Joel eventually realizes that everyone here is actually a serial killer, and it is a self-help meeting, but a self-help for serial killers. Joel uses his taxi idea to blend in and pretend to also be a killer to not get caught. This does work for a while until someone who is late for the meeting arrives. This person, of course, being Bob from earlier. Bob actually recognizes Joel and starts to ask him questions, being suspicious, about his true identity. Bob is able to get him to reveal that he's actually not a serial killer, and they realize that he's not Phil, who they thought he was. The group then tries to talk about what they should do with Joel, and Zachary tries to take charge and take command, and the rest of the group doesn't really like this, and they all end up murdering him. I guess even as a serial killer, you probably shouldn't be in a room full of serial killers. In the chaos, Carrie grabs Joel, runs into the kitchen, and they lock the door. Carrie reveals that she actually works for an organization that assassinates serial killers. Carrie opens a freezer in the kitchen and reveals Phil's body. Phil shown to be the guy at the beginning who got killed, and that's why he didn't show up to the meeting, because he was dead. The killers try to get to Carrie and Joel, and we get some, movie antics. Fritz, while trying to get in, gets his fingers cut off by Carrie. And Hideo is actually able to sneak into the kitchen, but Joel pretends to be dead as a distraction so that Carrie can strangle him to death using Phil's intestines. Pretty gnarly. During all this, Joel gets scared and he pulls the fire alarm, even though Carrie told him not to. Carrie explains that that was a dumb idea and that the police aren't going to believe them. Which she's right about, because Bob calls 911, and in his call makes it sound like Carrie and Joel went on a killing spree. Bob, Mike, and Fritz, all three escape the building. The police show up and find all the dead bodies and blood and stuff like that, and obviously arrest Joel and Carrie. At the police station, the police question Joel and Carrie about what happened. Joel just straight up tells them the truth, which they obviously don't believe, and they just think that he's crazy. They do give him his phone call, and he uses it to call Sarah. Joel tries to tell her about Bob and that he's actually a killer, but Sarah just gets confused with the phone call and tells him that she's going to come pick him up, and before he can really say anything, she hangs up and is on her way. Carrie tells the police that all those killers are going to come back and murder everyone in there if she doesn't get to go. The cops don't believe her either and lock her and Joel into a cell. Bob pretends to be a special agent to sneak into the police station, and for some reason this works.
But when I'm done here, I'm gonna go see your roommate. And she's gonna give me everything I need to wrap things up.
Oh, come on. I feel like you can hear what he's saying to me right now. Can you?
I can hear what he's saying to you, and everything is perfect.
What?
You're absolutely right, Special
Come on,
Agent
that's
Tony.
a fake mustache!
You don't insult the man's mustache! You don't insult the man's mustache! Hey, don't murder your face! You don't insult the man's mustache!
There's like only 3 cops in the station right now, so Fritz and Mike also get into the station and they kill 2 cops while Bob kills the other. Meanwhile, Carrie is able to use a paperclip to get her and Joel out of their jail cell. Once they're out of the cell, Carrie's then able to go and kill Mike and Fritz. Sarah now shows up to the station and is horrified with what she sees. Bob is able to stab Carrie in the back, and he also stabs Joel in the arm. They're both able to overpower him and knock him down so that they can both escape the station. Outside, they meet up with Sarah, and Sarah helps them get to her car. While in their car, they see Bob, and Sarah just straight up hits him with the car, knocking him down. They then all drive to the hospital. Bob is obviously still alive, because, I don't know. But he disguises himself as a doctor so that he can sneak into the hospital. I should have mentioned this earlier, but yeah, all the killers all have their own things, like Fritz being a clown and things like that. Bob is the master of disguise, which is why, he was the special agent to the police station, and now he's dressed up as a doctor. That's kind of his thing. He tries to finish his job, but Joel and Carrie team up and fight him together again. Carrie is then able to stab Bob to death, where he actually dies. So, goodbye Bob. Carrie then offers to train Joel and takes him on as an apprentice to kill serial killers. Joel agrees and says goodbye to Sarah. We cut to some time later, and Joel and Carrie are at a movie theater. While there, they terminate a serial killer who was pretending to be a worker, or I guess actually being a worker, but he was hiding out here, and he was a serial killer, so they killed him. While they leave, we see on the movie screen that it's playing the Taxi Driver Killer movie, and it's directed by the guy that Joel talked to at the beginning, showing that he just stole Joel's idea. But it doesn't matter because Joel is killing actual serial killers now and is happy with Carrie. The end. And yeah, Vicious Fun was, viciously fun. I really enjoyed this film a lot, so much that even though it's on Shudder, I went ahead and got the Blu-ray anyways, because of course I did. You don't need to do that, although I think physical media is the best media. But like I said, it's on Shudder. Use that 30-day code, Shudder30, and go watch Vicious Fun. Like I said in the beginning, it's not necessarily scary, but it is clever, it's funny, and it's a good watch all the way through. But I mean, that's all I can really say. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more breakdowns like this in the future, where we're going to break down, horror movies. Like the video if you liked the video. In the comments, tell me what you thought about the movie if you've already seen it. If not, just leave a suggestion for a future movie that you want to see broken down. Like I said, any horror film, I'll take a look at it. And yeah, thanks.